Greetings, YouTubers. This is Zena with Turquoise Dreams Tarot card readings and healings. And today we are doing a topic. The question is, what obstacle is keeping me from expressing or realizing my true self? And the second question to that is, how do I fix it? So today, the cards that I'm using are the Aboriginal Dreaming Totems by Mel Brown, the Angel Therapy Oracle Cards deck by Miss Dorian Virtue, the Good Tarot by Colette Baron Reed, the Psychic Tarot Oracle deck by John Holland, and the Sacred Rebels Oracle by Alana Fairchild. Freaking love her. So, we have three piles here. We have pile one, pile two, and pile three here. So I'm going to give you a second to pick which deck you want. You can pick more than one. If you feel like more than one resonates with you, you can watch the entire thing, or you can just pick your one pile. Don't care. All right, we are going to go ahead and start off with pile number one. Do-do. So, when asked the question, what obstacle is keeping you from expressing or realizing your true self? You have releasing allegiances. So, releasing allegiances. Immediately upon going into this card, I see where this is a situation of some of you having friendships, family ties, or romantic partners who you are aligned with that don't exactly reciprocate the amount of love, adoration, or care that you give to them. And some of these people, because I'm seeing the emphasis on the gold bangles right here, I take this also that some of you are very well off financially, and that at times people basically, it seems like they treat you as if you're a bank, not a human being, okay? They treat you as if you have all the money in the world to give, that you don't have your own resources or money that you have to preserve. And basically they just don't respect you. They don't respect that, you know, you have your own bills you have to pay, that you are a human being, you deserve the same love and respect back that you give to them. So basically, what's stopping you from realizing your true self, what's stopping you from getting to your full potential of who you are, not only spiritually but also in this physical world, you know, whatever that may be for you, being happy, whether it be having more money, or, you know, just basically manifesting what you want. Because when we have toxic connections around us, sometimes those can just block us too. The energetic cords that we keep to people that don't allow us to fully just, you know, enjoy all that, you know, source wants to give us, you know, and the divine wants to give us. So here are some limiting factors as far as and also words to focus on in regards to beginning to fix the situation. So you have anger. Some of you are afraid to release these allegiances. It could also be referring to a job too, as far as releasing allegiances, guys. It doesn't have to necessarily be a physical person. It could be a place or a thing that you're tied to that really just doesn't serve you anymore. So anger is an emotion that can be used in a right way, a righteous way, you know, whenever it's something in regards to like a hate crime or somebody being ugly, you know, to somebody else. But For the most part, I feel like some of you in this pile, you use your anger in a way that does not serve you. It doesn't create a conducive environment for you to bring that true self up. There's also people around you that you fear if you cut them off, they're going to retaliate in anger. They're going to come after you in some kind of way, shape, form, or fashion. They're going to release all your secrets, all your personal business, all of that stuff. So, the anger card, it says, even though you are bursting inside, you need to remain calm. Dig deep and find the strength to activate the self control that lies within you. So, of course, whenever you're cutting ties with someone, um, we have to have a certain, level of tact, a certain level of um, compassion, even if they weren't very compassionate to us, in our ties to them as a person, or ties to that employer, as an employee. And sometimes we have to, be diplomatic about it. Come at the situation with compassion and self-control. Don't react or cut a friendship or cut a familiar relationship or a romantic tie or a business relationship out of anger. um, do not allow their anger to anchor you down in this situation that is making you miserable as well, because we all deserve happiness, we all deserve peace, and we all deserve, love and respect. The next card is responsibility. So responsibility says become discriminate about the people you choose to help. There are too many people in your life who don't take responsibility for themselves and instead rely on you to sort it out for them. So, with responsibility, um, going back to the be discriminate about the people you choose to help. That is more so speaking back to what I was saying earlier with this pile, with some of you being financially stable and people taking that and abusing that and using that for their own, selfish reasons and their own personal gain. And, releasing allegiances, if it's a familial relationship, if it's not super toxic, if it's not something that causes you, a deep level of pain or anything like that, then what you can do is you can just, start saying no. No always works as a perfect, thing. And a lot of you are enablers too. It says there are too many people in your life who don't take responsibility for themselves and instead rely on you to sort it out for them. So some of you are enablers, some of you are nurturers, and this is also a pile that I feel that certain people within this group one, some of you have to deal with narcissists. Some of you attract narcissists, and the reason why is because you're a nurturer. It's because you're a giver at heart. But at the same time, no is your first defense. Worthwhile. Worthwhile. So it says life is not about being taught a lesson for getting something wrong. It's about having an experience that adds richness to your life. So in this, don't fear that you're making a mistake by cutting this person out. And if you're on the receiving, if you're a person that is not someone of financial prowess or anything like that, and this person is supporting you, and they, financially, if they're supporting you, materialistically, but they're not giving you what you need emotionally or mentally, then you're not getting it wrong by severing ties with somebody that is toxic. You're not getting it wrong by severing ties with a business that is emotionally and mentally draining you and not allowing you to follow your spiritual passions, or not allowing you to follow whatever your true business passions are. Some of you have all these beautiful goals and dreams, and some of you can't reach that potential because you're staying behind at for an employer because they've given you this, they've given you that. Look, breakups happen. They happen in ways in which we don't understand, and sometimes we have to do what's best for us. You can't expect someone to always understand why you're making this move, or you're saying that, or you're doing that. And the reason I say that is because some of you are trapped in fear. Some of you are trapped in fear. You guys fear of what people, fear is literally the only thing that is keeping you stuck to this toxic thing, person, or place that doesn't serve you anymore. You're scared of making the wrong sacrifice, but sometimes sacrificing, you know, friendships, sometimes sacrificing familiar relationships, sometimes sacrificing business relationships, sometimes sacrificing romantic relationships it's an important thing to have your peace of mind, because you see this rainbow and these beautiful clouds and the sunset beginning to come behind this girl. This is basically the divine telling you, like, hey, sacrifice this relationship, give it up, because it is not serving your highest good anymore. It's not giving you what you need. And see, this just confirms some of you are nurturers. The sacral chakra is all about nurturing. It's all about, nurturing yourself, nurturing other people, just being in that nurturing energy. And some of you get so drained from being the nurturer constantly without anybody giving anything back in return. And you want to say something. You want to be able to open your mouth and be like, hey, stop treating me that way. Hey, I deserve respect and love too. Hey, I deserve support too. And you're not receiving it from this situation that you're in. So it's time to let it go and give it up. Give it up. You know, be the messenger of air. Be the page of swords. Be that person to give them, the bad news about your tie to them. Be the person to, give them a taste of their own medicine in the most compassionate way. There's nothing wrong with cutting ties with people and places and things that don't bring you joy, that don't bring you bliss, that don't allow you to be who you truly are on the inside. And the Ace of Swords, in this deck it's the it's triumphant success. In this deck, triumphant success, it may seem dark for a second, it may seem lonely for a second, but you are going to rise up from underneath all the negative shit that people have buried you underneath, that they tried to force you to take on. This is your light at the end of the tunnel. This is your new beginning. This is your clarity. Another thing with this, if you do not willingly let this go on your own, the divine will force you into a position to where you have to let it go, to where you have no choice but to give it up. Be it through a situation that happens, be it through you feeling crappy until you push yourself out of that emotional rut and you go through with letting this situation go. This is your clarity, your moment of truth. Just be open to giving them the hard truth, giving them the honesty that they need. Because sometimes, in this sense, sometimes people need to be pushed on their asses, need to be, you know, told to back off, need to be told and put in their place in order for them to open their eyes and realize that what they're doing is not a healthy pattern, how they're treating people is not healthy, and make them go within themselves and think. Some of them, I'm going to tell you right now, may perceive you as a king of swords. And, the King of Swords is someone who, can be perceived sometimes as cold and emotionless and, very much so logical and in their mind, and all about, the method, all about being, methodical about things. And, some people may think you're a cold piece. They may think that you are just the harshest person in the world. So be prepared for people to spread around that you're cold hearted, that you gave them up, that they did everything for you. And just be prepared for this narrative that you're that you're the worst person ever. Of course, a narcissist will pull the victimhood mentality. They'll sit in that. They'll do that there. So just be prepared for that, to be perceived as that. Ace of Fire. So expect action to be taken. Either it's going to be a double-edged sword for you guys. It's going to be a situation where there are going to be people who are going to support you in your decision to let go whatever it is you're in right now. Some people are going to look down on you. Some people are going to be like, why would you do that? Why did you choose to, you know, choose to let go of that person? He had money. He was supporting you. He was letting you live in his house. He was letting you drive his car, or she was supporting you, or they were supporting you. Whatever the case may be. You have your own passionate fire inside of you that has ignited, that you need to express in this world. An aspect of your true self, or all of your true self. And in that, you know, take solace in being that little fairy on top of this lantern filled with fire. Take that moment for yourself and give yourself that warmth and that joy and that peace that you finally have been craving, and take all of that nurturing energy and put it back within yourself. Both cards are orange. It's basically you merging your nurturing into yourself. You're merging it into yourself. You're no longer, here you go, here you go, over here and over there. You're finally merging it within to yourself, which is the most beautiful thing that I'm seeing within this right now. Here are the other ones. Okay. All right, sorry about that. So know that you're protected. Power animal is basically it's mostly it's very often talked about in shamanism. Um, I'm familiar with shamanism because I am a shaman, but power animal, I'm more so familiar with it within shamanism. And power animals are basically animal spirit guides that guard you and they protect you through situations. And sometimes they change form. Sometimes I know for me in one season of my life, raccoon was a power animal for me, which helped me shapeshift, which helped me with surviving and basically being able to adapt to different situations, like in an instant. So raccoon was my power animal in a particular season where it was difficult financially. I was at a job where I was feeling harassed, where I felt very much so like the life was being drained out of me. And until I decided I wasn't going to put up with it anymore, raccoon was there to help me adapt and shapeshift through all of that. For some of you, the power animals that I'm hearing, just to name, just to kind of give you an idea of a power animal, I'm hearing bear, I'm hearing eagle, I'm hearing serpent, snake or serpent, and I'm also hearing wolf. So if you want, write those down, look those up, see which ones resonate with you. And if bear resonates with you, just kind of sit in the quiet of your room and either look at a picture of a bear, or just conjure up a image in your mind of a bear or eagle or snake or wolf. Whatever animal comes to your mind first is usually your power animal that is around you, protecting you and guiding you through this situation that you're in. Also, the shield that the card that comes up is shield yourself. It says protect yourself from harsh or fear-based energies by envisioning a cocoon of healing light surrounding you. So in that, basically, you have to ground yourself. Once again, people are going to attack you. They're going to attack you, with this image of you. attack people, attack you by telling people this image of you, giving this cold, steely, ugly image of you, and basically, trying to make you retreat, trying to make you, you know, be fearful. Be fearful, be afraid of them, be afraid of what they're doing, okay? Anytime an energy vampire tries to take something away from you, they pretty much, or a narcissist, they pretty much, try and distort your image because they know that's what you fear the most. Because as nurturers, we want to be perceived as the lovers, as people we can bring comfort to, people, um, that as we want to be perceived as people that are friendly, that are giving, that are loving, any positive, warm, fuzzy, thing, to emotion to get from people. But at the same time, this person, they're gonna try every form of, tactic. Oh, I'm gonna tell this person this about you. I'm gonna tell this secret of yours. I'm gonna sue you. If we're talking about a business here, I'm gonna sue you because you didn't honor your contract. I'm gonna take this away from you. I'm gonna give you a bad reference if you use me as a reference for this, for your own business or for a business project. So shield yourself. Don't be concerned with their energy, because let me tell you something. When you are vibrating at such a high level and you are in a state of happiness and bliss and self-love, nobody who is lower than those vibrations, who's vibing at lower vibrations than those three critical emotions and three critical characteristics, they can't touch you. They can't touch you with their words. They can't touch you with their actions. They can't touch you with any of that. So do not be afraid of them, because you are protected. You are shielded. Know that. Do not allow them to take you off your focus. In the past, some of these people have taken you off your focus, off your A game. And you have to stand up to them. You have to give them the business and just be like, look, I'm taking my focus off of you over here, and I'm focusing on me. And by the way, there's like a very beautiful pure turquoise stone on the white horse. Just saying. Some of these people have pulled you in such a dark place, in such a negative place, that once you let them go, you're going to be focused. You're going to be back into your happy aspect, the happy aspect of yourself, once you truly allow yourself to be able to be expressed by, first of all, getting rid of these morons out of your life, getting rid of these things out of your life, getting rid of these places out of your life. You definitely won't feel hanged anymore. Um, Initially, when I pulled this card, it was upside down. But some of you are right here right now. Some of you are right here right now. But once you cut that cord that's keeping you upside down, you're gonna soar higher than you ever dreamed. You're gonna be soaring. Nobody's gonna be able to stop you. Nobody's gonna be able to hold you down. You're gonna be looking down at the people that criticized you, that put you down, that told you you couldn't survive without them, you couldn't live without them, you couldn't be without them, you couldn't be without that job, you couldn't do without that job, you couldn't start your own business without that job. Bam, flying, flying away. Um, the last card I have for you is another Ace of Swords in this deck. In the Good Tarot deck, it is the Ace of Air. And basically, in the same way, Pegasus supported Hercules. Hercules is going to be missing you, baby. Because Pegasus is taking off on their own. Pegasus is following and flying in their own truth, in his own truth, in her own truth. You will become Pegasus without Hercules. You will become strong without Hercules. And Hercules is going to be missing you and needing you. So that's what I have for you, Group 1. I do hope that helped you, that gave you clarity on what's stopping you from expressing and realizing who you truly are, and how you fix that. All right. Pile 2. Hello, hello, pile 2. Okay, so what obstacle is keeping you from expressing or realizing your true self? Group 2, it is focus on the light. So this is a positive card, but because we're asking about obstacles, clearly there is something blocking you from focusing on the light. And I feel that with some of you in group 2, some of you are super pessimistic and negative. You are essentially your own worst enemy. You make yourself unhappy and you feed yourself all of these different scenarios, these negative scenarios, and you overanalyze and you overthink too much. I feel that with some of you, you know, you don't, because some of you aren't exactly light workers. I respect both sides. I respect the light and I respect the dark. Some of you are not exactly light workers either in group 2, which is perfectly fine. Um, but some of you do not balance the light with the dark. Some of you don't understand the whole yin and yang thing and coming together and merging both of those energies together. Some of you focus too much on the negative. Some of you focus too much on just trying to be, you know, positive all the time without acknowledging your negative emotions and negative feelings you feel. And because you're consistently trying to focus on nothing but the positive emotions all the time and not acknowledging the pain you have shoved back there in your subconscious, it creates you from truly understanding yourself all of the way. It creates blockages of different, of different levels of understanding about yourself and the world around you. Um, Law of attraction. Um, so some of you, oh, sorry, we're not gonna, sorry about that. So some of you need to sit down and reassess certain things in your life. Reassessment. Reassessment says time to take another look at this situation. There are many possibilities. However, each possibility will lead you to the same outcome. You have nothing to lose. Reassessment, law of attraction. Some of your block from being able to see the light, to see the joy and the happiness in your life is because you focus on foolishness. You focus on things that are out of your control. You focus on things that you personally cannot fix. You're not Superman or Superwoman or super being, whatever you identify as far as a pronoun. Um, some of you are so negative. You shoot yourself down to the point to where you attract exactly what you're afraid of attracting. um Says law of attraction. Relationships and activities that you once enjoyed are now changing as you become more sensitive and aware of energies. So this is also a double card, in the sense of it's telling you how to fix that negative mindset you have. Watch what you think. When you catch yourself going down a negative spiral of emotions and thinking, start to think about things that make you happy. Listen to music that makes you happy. Not Don't listen to something like, oh man, I'ma kill, I'ma murder you. Like, some of y'all listen to music that doesn't feed your soul. Some of you listen to things that actually, like, taints you. Some of you listen to people, to you read things, you watch certain videos that don't make you happy, that's not really making your spirit happy, and you wonder why you're feeling negative. Think of what you are feeding yourself every day from the world into yourself. Be your own filter. Allow your mind to become your filter of what you think about. For me, a perfect practice that I use to keep myself from being negative to keep myself from thinking with a devilish mindset. Because this is the devil card in this deck, but it says temptation at the bottom. Some of you have been tempted to, come out of dark thinking, but some of you have no idea how to do it. It's like you battle so much within yourself mentally. You see how his head and his body is just kind of just going back and forward like this, like so much, like just going back and forward. You guys tend to think like if I think positive, for even 5 minutes, doesn't change anything. Well, let me tell you something, honey. Whenever you build so many blocks and you create so many negative thoughts and you create so many negative experiences in your life, yeah, you can't take down the wall that quickly and that easily. But also, the level of healing you get from going from a negative mindset, or the more you kind of shift into understanding your shadow side or your dark side of yourself more, the more imbalanced you will become. The devil card also speaks of imbalance, and some of you are going through a period of shedding, through a period of spiritual and emotional deaths and mental deaths, transformation. Some of you are coming out of this this attitude of I can't possibly I can't possibly manifest my true love. I can't possibly manifest my dream job or my dream business. I can't manifest, going through 4 years of, university and getting my bachelor's or getting my doctorates. Some of you are your own worst critics. You got to come out of that in order to reach your true destiny and to find who you truly are, to coming out of the cycle of I'm this happy Susie homemaker wife at home. I'm this breadwinning husband. I'm this, breadwinning wife. Um I'm this, um Christian. I'm this, you know, um whatever, you just a multitude of different ways you identify or label yourself. Some of you label yourself too much too, instead of meditating and asking your higher self or asking the divine, whatever your divine source is, be it God, be it Buddha, be it, um, Krishna, or Lord Ganesh or Freya, if you're someone that loves the Norse, pantheon, and just really think, really, really meditate on what you love to do. Really meditate on what you feel drawn to in this life. Not what you not on a not what fulfills you on a materialistic level, not what makes money for you to bring home. Like, think of the thing that would make you the most happy. Focus on that. That is your guiding light. That is what you need to be loyal to. Because the sunflower also represents loyalty, it represents harmony, it represents peace, and just all different manner of joy. So focus on that. Some of you are very strong light workers. Some of you are very strong light workers. And when you're a light worker, sometimes you end up neglecting yourself. I'm guilty, you know. So basically, you got to come out of that. You got to come out of that pessimistic thinking. You can be positive for other people, but when it comes to yourself, you're so negative and you sabotage yourself. Foolishness. Let's go back to that because we didn't completely cover that. Says you are worried that by letting go of your frustration, those who are responsible will perceive they have won. Well, they have won because the only one suffering is you. So some of you, some of the reason why you're so pessimistic is because you're choosing to hold on to old grudges. Some of the grudges are with people that are not even living in this world anymore. Some people are deceased, whether to your knowledge or not to your knowledge. Some of you are still angry at these people. And they're not even physically in this world anymore. And I want to tell you something about that. If you are angry with somebody that is deceased, that is no longer living in this world, you've basically dug your own grave and you're burying yourself. You're killing yourself because essentially what you're doing, that person's body is just a shell at that point. Whatever negative energy and negative stuff that they left behind in that physical shell that's in the ground or that was burned into ashes and pieces, guess what? You're creating an energy one-way energy cord to siphoning all that negativity back into yourself. And that's why you keep reliving the same traumatic experiences over and over again. You know, for some reason, the divine is telling me that some of you have experienced being, molested as children, and the people that did harm to your body, that hurt you in that way. Some of them are dead. And believe me, when the deceased who wronged you in that way get on that side of living, they face their own personal hell in ways you do not know or understand. And I want you to know that you don't have to hold on to that anger against them. Do not continue to let them win against you, even into them being all the way in the afterlife. That's foolishness. That's foolishness. Don't hold on to that. Do not let them win against you like that. You are a victor. You don't have to stay a victim. You are a victor and a survivor and a thriver. Do not let anyone put you in a small state of mind or a pessimistic state of mind. Joy, lighten, joy, lighten up. Find that hidden inner child and have a play date. Laugh, be silly, dance, and sing. It's time to have fun again. Some of you isolate yourselves too much. Partnerships and alliances, the Three of Wands. Three of Wands, of course, can relate to, aligning yourself with people that have like business intentions. And some of you want to create partnerships like that. And it's totally possible. You just can't go around thinking everybody is out to get you or out to betray you or steal from you or rob you, of anything. Or run you over because for some reason this guy's arm looks like it has tire tracks going around it. It could be a tattoo, but I'm perceiving that pattern in particular at this moment as tire tracks. Some of you have been run over by people that you've aligned yourself with in the past. Don't focus on those past hurts. It doesn't serve you. It doesn't help you. Focus on the light. See the good in people. Take the lesson. Take the lesson in the negative situations you experience and you move on. You progress forward. You flow with life, not against it. Which is also what law of attraction is about. Not flowing against life. Yes, you accept, your circumstances as they are, but you visualize and feel yourself into another mindset. I'm going to give you a law of attraction practice that I love to do. It's called quantum jumping. So basically, you take of two cups, one filled with water and one not filled with water. Um, I've done two different variations of this technique. There's one where you fill one cup with water, and on the one that has the cup of water in it, you put the post sticky note or tape or whatever you want to use, or piece of paper that you tape to the glass or cup or whatever you're going to use, and you tape it to you write down your present situation, everything as it is at that moment in time, and you put that on the glass that has water. So then on the one that is empty, that starts off as being empty, you put your desired outcome, your desired lifestyle that you would rather have. Okay? And this works with any area of life. It works with career, it works with self-development, it works with, love, Whatever you want it to work for you, it can. So with the cup of that has the water in it, there's been one technique that I've used where I've rubbed my hands together really hard, and I've wrapped my hands, around the cup after my hands get really warm. And for a moment, I set my intention within the water, because the water itself, water, the water molecules, I can't speak tonight. The water molecules in and of themselves, they have this energy that basically it's so malleable, it can change to whatever vibration you want, and it sticks that vibration to those water molecules. Okay, so that's why this is usually a very effective method. um, so after you get done envisioning whatever it is you want to envision, okay, you pour the water that's in the present state of being, whatever your present situation is, and you pour it into the future tense cup, and you thank, whatever deity or the divine or ancestors, angels, whatever you believe in, you thank them for this new reality that you have manifested. And you see yourself in that manifestation, and you drink from the second cup, the future tense cup. So, um, next card, you have truth. So, in traditional tarot decks, this card, sorry if there's a glare, this card is the judgment card, okay? So a reassessment, it's usually, whenever it's upright like this, it's a positive reassessment of a situation. So some of you could stand to see a life coach that helps you remember, helps you pull up things in your subconscious that you didn't experience that wasn't so great, and helps you reimagine those things from a better, perspective, from a higher perspective, not looking at it from a victim mentality, or looking at it from they hurt me, they did this to me, you know. And I'm not trying to sound like, I'm in your shoes, or I completely understand what's going on, but I have experienced things. I have been in both the victim and the victor. Okay, I've been in both the aggressor and the oppressed. Okay, so I understand both sides of it. My trials and my negative experiences may not be the exact same as yours, but I can relate because I have been the victim before, and I have sat in the victimhood mentality. And you know what? I would attract more of the same crap, more of the same negative situations, and the same awful negative people, because I had that energy of like defeat, of constant I'm not good enough. I and at the core of it all, I didn't love myself. Some of you don't love yourself. Solitude. Some of you don't want to be around people. That's why joy is trying to come into your life. Some of you block that joy by doing this, being in solitude all the time, being in hermit mode all the time. There's nothing wrong with going within yourself and being in meditation and doing introspection. But usually when you're being the hermit, when you're being in solitude, it's so that way you can transform and so you can change for the better. Not for you to consistently live in a negative state of mind, to being isolated, to hurting yourself, to creating more negative blocks for yourself, okay? Know know when to isolate and when to come out of that and be around people. Move on. Moving on, this is the Six of Swords in traditional tarot. When you move on past the pain, past the traumatic experience, your light is going to come shining down. You're going to come to that awareness of who you are. Once you work through the hurt and the pain, not only that you've attracted to yourself, not only that has been inflicted upon you by other people or situations, you will be in such a better state of mind that you're going to begin to have that adventurous soul and spirit, because the Six of Swords also means, calm waters after a storm, after going through the fire, the refining fires, the being pressed down, from charcoal to being turned into a diamond, to come through forth as pure gold, moving beyond those negative experiences. So you guys are going to move beyond this. I have the utmost faith in you, group 2. Please don't take what I'm saying as I'm trying to hurt you. I'm trying to, you know, be negative in any way, shape, form, or fashion. Please don't take it that way. Because I'm only wanting to help you. I'm only wanting to help you heal on this journey, so that way you can realize and express who you are, baby. Some of you, some of you are going to become such spiritual bosses. The Hierophant, man, that's a spiritual leader and mentor. Some of you are going through some of the things that you're going through, the pessimism, the dark moments, the negative, pessimistic, and angry moments you're having. It's because you're leveling up. You're being forced through pupation, like a butterfly, getting the world's sludge off of you, getting the world's opinions and ideas of who you're supposed to be and who you're supposed to, you know, supposed to act like. This cookie cutter personality that everybody who's ever pressured you, to be. You're shedding that now. And this is the most beautiful thing to me. You're going to realize your spiritual power. You're going to realize who you are at your core. Once you begin to get out of this victimhood, negative mentality, and you begin to focus on the light. Some of you, I'm not going to lie, some of you, because you'll be in a better state of mind, the universe, the divine will test you just to see if you are really ready to come out of that. If you are really ready to come out of that rut and ready to embrace the light and be who you truly are, and, just honoring yourself, your light and your dark. You're going to have some people that are going to come back into your life that are going to try to, be like, what happened to you? Why did you change so much? You're not the same person. You're not the same, Macy that I knew before. You're not the same, Tanya that I knew before. You're not the same John or Brian that I knew before. And, that's when you look at them and tell them, like, look, who I was in the past will always be a part of me, but it is still a part of my past. And that's where I want to leave that aspect of myself. I'm a whole nother person. I don't stop growing. I don't stop changing. And it's okay to tell them that. And if they cannot embrace who you are in all your newness and all your wonderfulness, leave them behind. Also, with Six of Water, which is the Six of Cups in traditional tarot, this also speaks of childhood, having good memories of your childhood. But being that if you're a pessimistic person, 9 times out of 10, you did not have a very happy childhood. You weren't joyful. You weren't enjoying, life the way it was. So in that, I want you guys to begin to revisit your childhood. Some of you, what I did to heal my childhood wounds, I'm not going to say all of them are completely healed, because we always have more work that we have to do. We're never done healing. We're never done fixing things within ourselves, okay? When you're writing these letters, and I'm not saying write every single goal through your entire life and write everything down in one sitting, because you're bound to miss something, okay? You're bound to miss something. So whatever memory comes to you first, begin to write that. Begin to, allow those emotions to surface again. Cry, yell, scream, punch a pillow, whatever you got to do to give yourself that emotional release, that emotional, cathartic experience, to let it all out. Let it all out. Accept that that was part of your past, but it doesn't have to be part of your present or your future anymore, because the past is just as quick as a single millisecond. Okay, the past is just that quickly. The present turns to the past just that quick. You know, don't continue to let something control you or rule you in that way anymore. Okay, number two, some of you are going to be manifesting a King of Wands. I normally do not read in the sense of like zodiac signs, but for some of you, I feel like this is a fire sign. This could be a Sagittarius, this could be a Leo, or this could be an Aries. Okay, Aries man, or masculine energy. I'm gonna say that masculine energy. Um, this person is gonna light a fire in your world. Some of you are going to literally bring such a light. If you look at the sunflower's shape and look at the person's head, the sunflower behind them, they're gonna be that sunflower is gonna be drawn to your light. They're gonna be like this. You're gonna be like, oh, pretty, like, oh, pretty. You're basically going to draw them. Okay, you're going to draw this person because you're gonna have such a love and a light that you're gonna be shining that they're not gonna waste any time, syncing up with you and being one with you. So yeah, this is the lovers in this deck. Love, you know. Once again, there's the lion, or this could be somebody that's super brave and very, you know, not afraid to be bold about what they feel about you, or tell people off, to protect you, basically. So you're basically going to get someone that's going to literally want to be your defender, that's going to want to protect you at all times. And there's nothing wrong with that at all. So the last piece of advice is the card vegetarian and vegan. Okay, this card does not mean that you have to become a vegetarian or you have to become a vegan overnight or anything like that. If you were thinking about, becoming a vegetarian or vegan, maybe this card is telling you, hey, yeah, go through with that. But by no means am I trying to give you nutritional advice, okay? I'm not trying to tell you how to live your life or your eating habits or anything. I'm an omnivore, by the way, so please don't take it as I'm a vegetarian or a vegan and I'm trying to, you know, oh, you have to be a vegetarian or a vegan. Don't take it as that. This card says fresh organic fruits and vegetables give you a boost of high life force energy, which elevates your spiritual frequency. So in this, some of you are eating things that cause you to be negative. Believe it or not, um, on the Gaia Network, there is a movie called Emotion Code. Okay, in this movie, it talks about how different music, your frequency, from the music you like to the foods you eat and that you like to eat, that you are drawn to, are because they go with your personal frequency within your body. Okay. Some of my favorite fruits are pineapples, oranges, green apples, blueberries, strawberries, um, you name it. And all of those different fruits have a different frequency and life giving vibration um, to them. And it's the same way with us as humans. And when you're in a negative mindset, like for people in the Emotion Code movie, for people, they suggest that for people who have depression or anxiety, for example, if you are feeling negative and you are feeling crappy or pessimistic, a quick way to boost yourself or bring yourself up to somewhere, a little bit more positive or at least halfway positive, is to go outside in the sunlight, cut you up some slices of oranges and pineapples and mix it good together in a bowl and go outside and sit in the sunlight and eat that. And basically that's supposed to change your mood. Now for me, I know whenever I've felt, crappy emotionally, I used to wonder why whenever I would eat pineapple spears, I would feel better, and then another thing that helps, drinking alkaline water. um I forget the name of the water, but it's like a really big bottle of, um, I want to say it's Evermore. I want to say the water is called Evermore, and it's in a dark blue. It has a dark blue label around it with green bordering, with green borders on it, and I think it's called Evermore. Evermore, and it's really good water. It's alkaline water, and I noticed whenever I would drink it, I would immediately feel like, oh, like I could think clearer. It felt like, I don't know, like my brain would, like the function of my brain would like pick up, the memory would pick up, the speed up, just processing everything would pick up. Um, so basically, just begin to filter what you say to yourself. Number two, what you um, think of yourself, what you think about other people, situations, letting go of grudges, um, not having an imbalance of focusing so much on your positive attributes that you don't really pay attention to whenever you feel negative and whenever you're harboring something that is painful emotionally or mentally or even spiritually. And also just be mindful of what you eat. Okay, I hope that that helped you. And I'm gonna move on to pile number three. Pile number three. Do-do-do. Okay, sorry, I know that was cheesy. So guys, your card is After the Storm. So, After the Storm speaks of going through something difficult and coming out on the other side into clear waters, experiencing something that was, whatever your storm may be, whether it was something traumatic, emotionally, mentally, or, physically in this realm of living, whether it be the death of a loved one, whether it be, the loss of a relationship, the loss of a job, the loss of a home, car, whatever it may be for you. This situation of loss I'm getting, and trying to bring it with you, trying to bring it with you into the sunlight, and you cannot do that. Okay, if you expect to come to the true realization of who you are, you have to let that extra baggage go. um, the owl is a symbol of divine wisdom, divine knowledge, secret knowledge that we are not aware of. So some of you are not able to see the bigger picture of the situation, okay, of the storm that you went through. Some of you are choosing to see it at such a small level, like, man, I lost my house. I really loved that house. You know, I lost my car in a car wreck and it's totaled. I had so many good memories in that car. And some of you are just holding on to the negative aspect of the situation when, and some of us, we tend to, even when we get blessed beyond measure with better things, after experiencing that storm, we tend to go back and look at the good times, the old days. Well, when I had that, one bedroom, one bath house, I didn't have to worry about this bill, that bill being high, or this rent being high. But instead of seeing you have more space now, to accommodate yourself and your loved ones, or, you can do more things, you have more space to breathe, you have, instead of seeing the beauty in something being taken away from you so you could upgrade, you're choosing to focus on the thing that you upgraded from. And, for some of you are also wondering, how can I get past, this storm? I'm devastated. I've lost everything. I've lost, you know, the love of my life. I don't have. Whew, this energy is heavy. I don't have what I need anymore. But holding on to what's no longer there is what's the main thing that's blocking you from expressing or realizing who you truly are, your true self. Sometimes storms come, the divine brings storms to us to forcefully pull away from us what we don't need anymore. Just pulls it away, you know. And instead of us going with the flow, we like, oh no, don't take it, don't blow this away from me, don't, don't, tsunami it away from me, don't hurricane, don't blow the wind, in my direction and take this away from me. But the thing is, probably the thing that you were holding on to was just smoke and mirrors, because the card that comes up is caution. And caution says, there is no truth behind this farce. Be wary of smoke and mirrors. Look closer, and the illusion will soon melt away, revealing a sanctuary where only truth remains. Basically, some of you guys had to have these storms happen. The rain had to come, the lightning and the thundering and the winds had to come to cleanse you. To cleanse you when you weren't brave enough to cleanse yourself. To take away from you what you couldn't walk away from on your own. Okay? When we go through a traumatic experience, it forces us to really look at ourselves. It makes us stop. So sometimes, once the shock wears off and the fear and the sadness and everything fades away, we begin to look at the sun and we begin to see the beauty that is coming forth, after the storm. And some of you ask questions. Some of you still question why, instead of questioning, what is this teaching me? What am I to learn from this situation? What am I to learn from this person that hurt me? What am I to learn from, this job what life skills did I learn from this job that fired me? What can I do to utilize those same skills in this next job that I go into, or into planting and starting my own business? What can I take along with me on the journey? And what do I need to drop and let go? Questions. What you are thinking is absolutely correct. It takes courage to trust yourself, especially when everything points in a different direction. So, of course, when we go through a storm, everything looks chaotic, everything looks shitty, everything looks torturous and feels tumultuous and feels wrong. We feel violated. We feel, so unprepared and so forgotten about, especially if we're going through the storm alone. But in that, the storm is teaching us how to flow and how to trust ourselves. How to, after we go through a storm, we become stronger, we become better people, we become more aware of our own inner power and inner strength to persevere through this life, to persevere through this personal spiritual journey that we're here and learning and experiencing. It does take courage to trust yourself, because so many voices inside of ourselves tells us not to. And the one true voice is your true self. And in order to reach your true self, to get that past that blockage of holding on to the wreckage that the storm brought onto you, in order to reach that true self, you have to let it go. You have to let what no longer is go. That's what it's all about in this life. Letting go of attachment. The only attachment you need to have is to yourself, not to a person, place, or thing, because those are all temporary. And we all have to leave those temporary things here when we go to that other side of living. When we transform and we come out of this physical shell, we no longer care about the things that are in this life anymore. Some of us don't anyway. Forgiveness. In certain instances, some of your storms that you are recovering from are relationships with people, are business partnerships that fell through, are agreements that fell through, be it on your end or on their end. Forgiveness card. It says, trusting yourself is often harder than trusting others. Don't worry if you get this wrong. The consequences will not be as bad as you think. So basically, saying freely forgive. Freely forgive whatever was done or said to you that caused this storm within you, be it an emotional storm, be it a financial storm, be it a natural disaster of whatever you feel like a natural disaster is to you, okay? Um, we all get we all get taught lessons in life that we feel like we did not deserve, and for the most part some of us do not deserve the things that happen. But also you have to take into account the things you experience in this life. You could think like, man, I didn't do anything to that person for them to cause me to go through this. I was nice to them, I was kind to them. Let me tell you something. In this life, you may have lived in a lifetime where you attacked the shit out of them, antagonized them to no end, and treated them as if they were nothing in that lifetime, okay? And because of that karma from that particular lifetime, it's basically flowing over into this lifetime to be healed. And maybe in some instances, the storms you've gone through are their way of getting their healing and getting their peace of mind and them showing you what you showed them in that lifetime, okay? Um, and in that, that's what kind of gives you the bigger picture. That's where this looking at this storm, with a sunlight mindset, with a peaceful and forgiving mindset, okay? And once you let go of this stuff, some of you, the attachment that you have from this storm is fear. Vacuum away fear says, call upon archangels Michael and Raphael to lift fear-based energy from you, your surroundings, this situation, and everyone involved. Storms when they come, they can affect you physically, they can affect your situations, and they can affect your relationships, meaning the everyone involved part. They can cause you to fear getting into anything new. They can cause you to fear flying ever again. They can cause you to fear taking leaps of faith in whatever endeavor you decide to pursue anything in, and basically just halt you from acknowledging who you truly are and what you're here to do. But that's where you give that fear also to your divine source. This card says God box, and for me, I think of a literal like shoebox with creative, cute little writings on it, or whatever, and you create a slit at the top of it, and you write all your concerns in that. And you don't lift the top of the lid up off of it to look at what you wrote in there. You leave it in there, and you let the energy just transmute that fear of what you think can't happen for you after this storm. You don't think you could get this better person in your life after this storm that happened with the last person. Let me read Godbox to you. Godbox says, write any worries, concerns, or desires on a piece of paper that you put into a special container called a Godbox as a way of letting go and allowing the divine to help you. Boom. Some of you, it could be just that easy. Just letting it go. You can't change the situation. You can't change what you went through, but you can change how you respond to it. I love that saying, that quote. It says, life is 90% of what happens to you, and 10% of it is how you react to it. And that is so true. We as humans, we are such we are beings of reaction. We're beings of impulse. Sometimes we don't think things through. We don't calculate how far the jump is. We don't calculate how much, time we spend on things that no longer like help us, fly, no longer help us go in life, basically. And in that, we get stuck. We get stuck holding that crap. Um, hmm. So some of you, these storms that came, financial and material changes. Some of these things came as a way to shake you up from being super materialistic. Because some of you, in this group, from looking at this card, I see as someone who is so afraid of losing everything, you lost everything you had. This is also the Five of Pentacles in traditional tarot. Um, and Five of Pentacles is usually loss, be it, financial, emotional, just a large loss and feeling impoverished in some sort of way. Some of you were so materialistic that the divine was like, you know what? I'm going to have to take you off this high horse. Some of you were so materialistic to the point to where it was what fed you spiritually, and it was what actually wasn't feeding the right things within you. It wasn't feeding your true self. It was feeding you your ego. It was feeding your ego. It was giving you, a peace of mind in your ego, but your soul and your spirit was not happy or fulfilled with what you were doing. And so basically, your spirit kind of called this in like, I need something to change me. I need to be shaken up. I need to have ill foundations shaken up and turned upside down. The Tower card was actually upside down, y'all, whenever it came out in the deck. But I flipped it right side up because some of you actually experienced a Tower moment. Okay. So in this, once you allow the lessons, you focus on the lessons of the storm, and you see the beauty of the lessons that the storm gave you, this Tower moment is going to become your firm foundation. It's going to become your firm foundation, okay, guys? You're going to become an immovable mountain. It's going to get you to a place of strength to where no matter how hard the wind blows, no matter how much lightning strikes you, no matter how much rain hits you, and anything, else, it doesn't matter how much, how hard the tsunami hits, all of that is going to basically fall off you because you're going to become a spiritual mountain that nobody can fuck with, that nobody can tear down. You're going to be on a firm foundation. Once you allow this moment to pass and you begin to rebuild on a firm foundation, you will find yourself at peace. You will find yourself in that joy. You will be able to fly again without the golden cage, without the golden box keeping you down or blocked. And you guys will rejoice again. You will rejoice in celebration again. You will have those right connections. You will have the right team. You will have the right foundations for your business, or the right foundations to have a more beautiful and better home, or anything that you truly desire and want. This storm is basically just clearing away what no longer serves you and what no longer gives you that joyfulness and that happiness. And you're going to have it's going to be a cause for celebration and being joyful. This is also the Three of Cups too. So there's that. Solar plexus chakra. This is about how people perceive you and how you perceive yourself. Once we get into a correct state of being confident within ourselves, not being overly confident, i.e. arrogant, not being narcissistic, once we get into this healthy state of being confident, you are going to have people that are going to be drawn to you, that are going to see you as the strong mountain. that are going to see you in a way where you're just basically going to be this bright shining light for them, man. You know, this is the sun card. And look at this. After the storm, oh wow, there's a sun in the background. Flying off into the sunlight. People are going to admire and see you as this confident person because they're going to see your inner strength. They're going to see your foundation. They're going to see that nothing can stop you. Nothing can put you so low to where you cannot pick back up. But it is only through the help of the divine, even if it's the divinity within yourself that exists, because divinity exists within all of us, because we are divinity made manifest in this physical world, okay? People are going to see you as that light. They're going to look up to you. They're going to be like, dang, I'm glad that person is on my team. They went through something so difficult. You're going to be an inspiration for people. You're going to be a testimony, a walking and living and breathing testimony for people who may be going through the same chaotic event in their life. So just be at peace and know that this storm needed to happen so that way you can receive the proper blessings that you need in order to realize and express your true self and who you are. And also, this storm is going to help you choose wisely. It's going to help you break out of patterns that didn't serve you in the past. You're going to be able to decipher. You're going to be able to spearhead and be like a bird, you know, spearing its head, you know, like just nose diving into the ground to get that worm that they're looking for. You know, you're going to become like a bird of prey, and you're going to be able to spearhead and make choices quicker and make better choices, because this hand right here, it's pointing in the direction of the sunlight. Sun, light, solar plexus. You know, this also looks like a sun to me too, right here. Choosing better choices, choosing wisely. This storm helped you to become a better person and begin to look at it in that term, in that way. The High Priestess. Some of you guys know it's time to let the negative aspect of the storm go, to let go of this cage. Whether it's a cage that you put other people in that made you go through the storm, whether it's a cage you put yourself in out of fear. Just know that your true self has your back. That divinity within you that is expressed within you has your back. That God, that the divine has your back. And know and trust yourself. Have the courage to trust yourself. Goes back to this forgiveness card. Trusting yourself is often harder than trusting others. What you are thinking is absolutely correct. Questions. It takes courage to trust yourself. Trust you. The High Priestess is all about trusting yourself. Trusting the truth within yourself. Trusting your true self. This is also a call for you to connect with your deity more after going through this storm. It's going to empower you and give you strength. Help you get to your firm foundation, okay? You have the Three of Earth. Continuing to set that foundation down. Continuing to work towards a better future for you. We're all works in progress, and there's nothing wrong with that. Pile 3. There's nothing wrong with that, my beautiful threes. You know, continue to look with new eyes, trusting eyes, with trusting yourself, trusting the journey, trusting your deities. because it looks like there are orbs in the background. You can't see it, but I see them. And the final card is Eight of Fire. Eight of Fire, the different little circular lanterns to me represents your spirit guides, your angels that are with you on this journey. Because Eight of Fire in traditional tarot is the Eight of Wands, which represents rapid communication. It also represents travel, a positive travel omen, you know. Some of you after this storm, y'all are going to take off. Y'all are going to soar. There are going to be so many people at your side. I think these orbs represent the number of people that are going to support you, that are going to help you through this. And there's also a panda in this, and they're telling me to read the meaning of what panda is. So give me just 1 second. I'm going to pull my panda. Okay. Panda, ladies and gentlemen. And by the way, this book is called The Pocket Guide to Spirit Animals, Understanding Messages from Your Animal Spirit Guides. And the book is by Dr. Steve Farmer, who is also a shaman. Okay, so panda, it says your thinking is much too polarized into black and white and right and wrong. So try to broaden your perspective. That is one meaning. It says the second one, it says you can do anything you want once you set your mind to it, especially if the desire originates in your heart. Another one says take yourself somewhere up high where you can view the world below and meditate from this vantage point. Then we go back to the firm foundation, the mountaintop, getting to the mountaintop. Take yourself somewhere up high where you can view the world below and meditate from this vantage point, observing how you feel as you do so. Rather than juggling a whole bunch of projects, take one. Take one. Sorry, I'm not. Oh, there you go. She's holding her mask and looking in one direction. Choosing a direction. Choosing wisely. Going in one direction. Rather than juggling a whole bunch of projects, take one at a time and finish it before moving on to the next. Incorporate the goddess Kuan Yin in your panoply of spiritual consultants. I'm sorry, I've never seen that word before. If I butcher that word, I'm sorry. It looks like it says panoply of spiritual consultants. So basically, going back to the divine, going back to your God box, talking to the divine, your deity, your deities, or whatever you believe in, or whoever you believe in. Incorporate the goddess Kuan Yin in your panoply of spiritual consultants. Rely on your intuitive voice for guidance rather than the input of others. Once again, going back to High Priestess. They had me read panda for a reason, guys. There's a panda in this card. So take those meanings, you know, as they resonate of what panda is. That's the end of my reading. I do hope that this helped all three of you groups, and I hope to see you in the next video. If you liked this video, please click the subscribe button, click the like button. If you didn't like it, click the dislike button, and you know, share this video to other people if you think it will help them in some way. And many blessings to you. Have a wonderful evening.